Hi
Hi
guys,
guys.
I'm Jay,
I'm Sherry here.
and welcome to another episode of Project Analysis. Today, the project that we're going to be talking about is.
Springleaf Residence.
So, at this point of filming, the preview is actually already going on, so we are a bit late. But today, we just want to go through a bit on the important things that we think that for buyers is good for them to know, like the priority booking, and also how to choose when you qualify for the priority booking, as well as the layout. So, Sherry, what do you think of this Springleaf Residence?
I think it's quite ulu.
Location, Ulu?
Location quite ulu.
Yeah, currently actually there's not so much going on over there, but we will also talk about this later on in the later part of our video lah. But one good thing about Springleaf is that the prices have been released and we feel that it is quite attractive.
Yes.
The preview actually started on 1st August, which was a few days back. The actual booking day will be on the 16th of August, which is on a Saturday. Then the priority booking will be one day before that.
Which is Friday.
So for these prices, what do you think?
I think it's really attractive. For 2-bedroom, we can find something that is 1.07 million.
Very attractive in terms of quantum wise. And one bedroom actually starts from 878K. But the thing is that the one bedroom is actually part of the conservation building of the project. So there are actually just a few units of these lah. So majority of the units here will start from 2-bedroom onwards. And it ranges from 1-bedroom, the limited units, all the way to 5 bedrooms. And 5-bedroom will be 1453 square feet, starting from 3.018 million, which is really, really attractive in terms of pricing. But we also want to go in depth to see whether, even though the price is attractive, whether buyers who have some concerns because of the location. We will touch on that a bit more later on. Let's go to the details of the project.
So I just want to highlight that there's actually another plot right beside us. It's just at Springleaf MRT, and then it will be integrated, but there's no bid at all.
Previously, it was actually up for bidding lah. No developers actually bid for the land. We do feel that the reason is because this area is a new area to be developed, and developers are also very cautious when they bid for lands nowadays. They probably want to see the response of Springleaf, and if the response is good, then that will likely attract more developers to bid for the land, and potentially the future plot, which is the next plot, will be higher price because of course it's integrated, and there's also commercial spaces as part of the development lah. So for the owners or buyers for Springleaf, next time it will be added convenience when this project is ready, so you can actually enjoy the convenience of having the commercial shops downstairs right beside your project. Looking at this, we actually can see that the whole project is surrounded by a lot of trees. It's actually the central catchment area, which we will touch on later on. But the important thing about this slide is that it's right next to MRT lah, for Springleaf also.
Yeah,
And
also showing the facades.
and the facade, what do you think?
I think very Hong Leong style lor. Yeah.
Very Hong Leong style. If you have visited Midwood, it's in Hillview. They also did something similar like that.
I think they want to still retain the colours of the house because of the conservation place, right? So technically, I think the whole facade is in brownish.
I think because the brown also matches with green.
Yeah, it
and
looks
because
better this way as
it
well.
actually does look quite nice. Looking at the facade, it actually blends into the nature lah. Springleaf is actually on the TL, Thomson East Coast Line. So it goes all the way to Changi. Okay. So this is the unit distribution chart.
So we have 5 residential towers. Total, we have 909 residential units from 2 to 5 bedrooms. For the conserved building side, we have 32 units from 1-bedder to 3-bedder. So basically for the gym and the study rooms areas are all in the conserved buildings. And then for this, like what Jay mentioned, we are actually right beside the MRT station. So it's sheltered to the MRT station.
And also 77% of the land is actually dedicated to the landscaping and the facilities. Actually, total we have 6 blocks. So 5 of the normal blocks and then 1 of the conservation block. They actually do have a lot of facilities for this project. They actually have a 125-meter running track and also the 500-meter jogging trail. Later on, we will show you on the site plan. And of course, you have the unobstructed views of the greenery, which is the Central Catchment Nature Reserve. For the majority of the units, starts from 2-bedroom, 1 bath, 2-bedroom, 2 bath. Then they have the smaller 3-bedrooms, 4-bedroom, and then they have the 5-bedroom as well. We will go through a layout later on.
So for these slides, right, we are actually going to talk about the MRT line. Basically, we think that government won't really build MRT for no reason lah. Definitely, they have plans for development in this area. So for MRT station, right, we are actually 3 stops away from the RTS, which is the way that you actually go to JB Malaysia.
Yeah.
And then we also have direct access to Changi. And then Lentor is actually 1 stop closer to the central area. That's why the price are also more expensive. When Lentor Modern first launched, right, it's also an empty land. I think it's a very close comparison. A lot of buyers are really concerned about Springleaf has nothing now, but we also want to remind the buyers, like when Lentor is launching, they also have nothing much at there as well lah.
I think this is one of the biggest concerns for buyers. But although right now, as we are filming this video, we see a lot of people going to the SHOWFLAT to view.
Yeah, that's really
I think it's really because of the attractive pricing. So if you're watching this video, you can actually go down and have a look. Then whether or not you feel that there's potential, you can decide after that lah.
Yes.
But our main objective today is to actually help you to choose the right unit if you do feel like you're interested to purchase a unit over here.
For this slide, right, it's actually showing you that this is the Springleaf forest. Behind won't have anything that is changing. So buyer actually can enjoy the close to nature kind of feeling. And then of course the future plots will be further away from the MRT station. Only this is the one that is right beside, and we also have another one that is integrated as mentioned earlier. So this is our site plan. If you can see from the entrance, on top we have a very huge tree. That is our 百年老树. They couldn't bring it down, so definitely have to be there. When you enter into the project itself, you will see a lot of greens already. And in the project itself, technically we have 3 swimming pools, and it's all slapped right in the middle of the projects.
So the entrance will be from Upper Thomson Road, and then some of the units will be facing the SLE over here. So highway facing, definitely there will be some differences in the pricing compared to the inner facing also. Then of course the units that are facing the back, which is the Springleaf Forest, you will get a lot of unblocked greenery view. The thing about here is that you can see that based on this site plan, there are actually a lot of facilities around the whole development. They even have this running trail over
it's
here.
supposed to be the school field or something, they retain it.
Yeah, so it's quite interesting. Tennis court. This is the first time I see actually this thing in a project.
Yes.
I think it's quite interesting. So you can see a lot of facilities over here.
The good thing about the units are all north-south facings. There's only some units that are facing outwards that are east facings.
Majority will be north-south facing. This is the drone view of the surrounding of Springleaf Residence. This is the actual site. This is the conserve building. Then over here will be the MRT station, and then you have this Upper Thomson Site A, which is the future development, and the SHOWFLAT is over here. And you can see that those units facing this site, certain units is actually facing the landed view. Then those facing backwards will be the greenery. Then this side will be the highway view over here. From here, you can actually see more clearly. This will be the landed view. And certain units facing here, right, you can actually have a slight view of the water over here. Then for units facing this side will be the highway lah. And then the MRT will be over here.
Notice that we actually have more future residential plots at this area. So based on the master plan itself, from 2008 onwards, you can see the yellow portions, they are all reserve sites. So they do not have any plans yet. But after that, in 2014, we can actually see there is a MRT lines coming out from there. And then this is our TEL. So for TEL, it actually opens on August 28 in 2021. So last time they are all reserve sites after the MRT is built. After that, 2019 is changed to residential. So I think government won't build the MRT station for nothing. So building an MRT line, as we Googled, the cost of the kilometers from TEL will cost about $500 million, according to today's online.com.
So Springleaf is over here. Then the future plot will be over here. And you can see from this master plan, right, over here is all zoned as residential. So this in the future will be either your HDB or your condos. And right now, here is really nothing. So what are you buying in? This area, you are really buying into the potential.
Definitely, I think we will have a lot of upgraders coming in from the other areas like Woodlands, Toa Payoh, maybe Ang Mo Kio as well.
For those buyers who consider Lentor but didn't buy a unit there, they will also look at Springleaf right now and also potentially the next plot that is coming up.
Yep.
And just now we talked about the potential and also Lentor, right? So for Lentor, it used to be nothing there also. Lentor Modern was the first development, which is the integrated. So I feel it's quite similar. Another area that I think is quite similar would be the Jurong area. So the government actually announced the plans for the Jurong Lakeside District in 2008. And for this project Lakeview, which is at Jurong, the Lakeside area, right? They actually launched in 2014. And some of the buyers over there, they actually bought at 1,001 PSF. And recently, the latest transacted price for 4-bedroom is already at 1,009. That means for the smaller bedroom type, it could be even higher. So just by looking at this, you can see that there is actually quite a bit of profit, even though the whole transformation for the Jurong Lakeside District has not even been completed. The whole transformation will likely be completed maybe in 10 to 15 years' time.
Yeah.
And the prices have already gone up quite a bit. So if you are considering Springleaf and then right now you feel that there's nothing there, we do feel that there is future potential. But the thing is that you do have to wait because right now it's really nothing. So if your plan is you want to buy, you want to earn a decent amount in 4 to 5 years' time, then I feel that perhaps you might need to be a bit more patient for this project because there is really nothing there right now. And for your future buyers, what would they be paying for? They are actually really essentially paying for the MRT, which is right beside the future potential also. And that is why we feel that the developer also priced it very attractively because they also know that right now there is nothing there. And they are also very cautious. They don't want to price too high. They want to make sure that there is interest. There are people buying. That's why I think this is a window of opportunity. I don't want to tell you that this is super good and all, but I feel that there is an opportunity here, but you do have to wait. It won't be immediate 3-4 years time, then you can earn a huge sum of profit.
So as mentioned earlier, we have this priority booking and who actually qualify for the priority booking. So basically there is
Loyalty purchase. So if you are an ex-owner of any Coco Land or selected Hong Leong development, you can actually qualify for the priority booking. If you are a current owner or even a current residential tenant, you need to show the tenancy agreement. You can actually participate in the loyalty purchase, the priority booking. And the relationship has to be first tier. So it has to be your spouse, your parents, siblings, or children. So it's a one-tier linkage. Of course, if you do want to purchase multiple units, you will be able to participate in the priority booking also. These are the projects that will qualify you for the priority booking. You can pause the video and take a look to see whether you actually qualify for it. And although priority booking is good, because from what we see here, actually a lot of buyers will qualify for the priority booking. But one thing about that is that when you qualify for the priority booking, you do not have enough information because not all the full prices will be released to you on the day of the priority booking. And that is why there's a chance for you to choose a wrong unit. And that is the problem. So you have to be careful if you qualify for the priority booking. And the next slide, I will show you why I say this. So the most important thing about priority booking is that you get to choose first, right? And you get to choose first means that you get to select the units that are priced more correctly. Let me show you an example of Lentor Mansion, which is also the most recent Coco Land project. So their priority booking actually happened on 15 March. And you can see that for this buyer over here, level 5, they actually managed to buy at 2,199 PSF, 1.16 million. And on the same day, another buyer who qualified for the priority booking actually bought almost $100 more expensive based on the PSF. So this is actually a good example to show you that even if you have priority, you must also choose the right unit. Because if you want to profit more, you want to have immediate paper gain, you must choose your project wisely. Then let me show you another example of how priority booking can be to your advantage. You see on 15th of March, the same buyer who bought at 2,199 PSF, on the next day, another buyer also bought level 5, same size at 2,321. which means that only in one day, this buyer actually managed to have a 60,000 paper gain there. And that is because he managed to qualify for the priority booking and he managed to choose the right unit. Of course, how do you actually choose the right unit? We will just touch on a bit over here right now. So firstly, when you're at home, you need to decide already. You need to categorize what are your options. So for example, for this project, there is a one bedroom. One bedroom will be a standalone. But then you have your 2-bedroom, 2-bed, 2-bath, and then you have your 3-bedroom compact. So for example, you are considering between 2-bed, 2-bath. And then maybe your budget, you can also buy a 3-bedroom compact. So at home, you should already have your different category, either these or maybe your 2-bed, 1-bath, your 2-bed, 2-bath. Then when you go to your priority booking, what you need to do is you need to know what are the prices, but you don't have all the prices, right? Because you can only have selected prices. You need to ask for the price on the priority booking. You need to see what's the difference between the different bedroom types that you are looking at. So for example, right now you know that the average PSF for maybe 3-bedroom is about 2,000. And the size difference between the 2-bed, 2-bath and the 3-bedroom compact is actually 140 square feet. You know that the average PSF is about 2,000. So we want to take the price difference. For example, if the developer put the price difference for this 2-bed, 2-bath and the 3-bedroom compact to be 200K, then we take this 200K, we divide by the size difference, 140 square feet. The PSF will be 1428 PSF. So this is lower than this average over here. Then you can actually consider to top up. But if let's say the answer here is a lot more than this average PSF over here, then you need to really think whether it's worth it for you to top up or not. So after you choose the type of unit that you want, then you have to choose the different facing and also between the different sizes also. So you need to really go and see, you take the same floor level for the different unit type and the different stacks. Then you see what is the premium and the difference in the pricing and whether it's worth it to pay or not. For example, the 2-bed, 1-bath and the 2-bed, 2-bath. Usually, one more bathroom is about maybe 150K, for example. But right now, developer price it at 100K. Then it's actually a good deal. Then you can also consider the 2-bed, 2-bath if let's say your first choice was a 2-bed, 1-bath. So this is how you can actually make the best out of the priority booking. And this is not just for priority booking. Even when you are at the normal booking, you can also use this method to choose the right unit. And of course, we also have to consider what is the different facing, like which facing is better, whether it's more worth it to pay or not. Because for this project, there is also the highway facing, but the highway facing also do have a bit of an unblocked view. We do not know how the developer is going to price it, but the key thing over here is you need to know that if you pay for a certain facing, a certain unit type, you are actually paying the right amount and you are not overpaying. Okay, and that's all for the priority booking. The next one, we will go into the layout.
So let's dive into our 2-bedroom layout. So basically on the left-hand side is our 2-bed, 1-bath, which is 527 square feet. And then the right-hand side will be our 2-bed, 2-bath, which is 646 square feet. So they are all in the tall building. We will do the conserve building later on. And then 2-bed, 1-bath, a lot of them are the highway facing. And for the 2-bed, 2-bath, a lot of them are facing in the inwards. The very good thing about this project is actually the width of the living hall area is 3.1 meter, which is really quite huge. And then of course, the 2-bed, 2-bath, we have a little tuck-in kitchen. Despite us don't have any windows, we still can cover a little bit up in the kitchen area.
The two layouts are actually pretty identical except for the kitchen wise. Just now we mentioned, of course, you need to see whether based on your budget, which one would you go for. And let's say if you're able to stretch a bit of your budget, we have to see what is the price, whether it's more worth it to go for a 2-bed, 2-bath. Because in certain cases, the 2-bed, 1-bath can earn more. But certain cases, 2-bed, 2-bath earn more. So it really depends on your entry price. And then, of course, this project is harmonized. Most of the 2-bed, 1-bath will be facing the highway. There's only this block 87, this stack over here, that will be inwards facing. But they do have a bit of the highway facing as well. But the setback is the furthest. And I think if let's say, logically speaking, this will be the premium, this one will be second, this one will be third, because this one, the distance to the highway is the nearest. So again, it is based on the price difference. And based on experience, for an inward-facing unit compared to a highway-facing unit, you can expect to pay maybe 60K to 70K more for the premium facing based on previous projects that we have seen also. This 70K can be used as a gauge for you to see whether on the day of the release of the prices, what is the price difference between the better facing, which is the inwards facing, and also the highway facing. But over here, I think the layouts are quite similar. It really depends on whether you want a 2-bed 2-bath or 2-bed 1-bath.
So now we have our 3-bedder layouts, and then 3-bedder we have 8 layouts, so we actually split them up. So basically, let's start with the smaller one, which is the 786 square feet and the 818 square feet. So for these two, Jay, what is your top choice?
My top choice would be the 818 because for a 3-bedroom to have windows at your kitchen and also your bathroom, I think is important. So that's why 818 would be my first choice. Also over here, if you want to really enclose your kitchen, you can do glass panel over here. Yeah. And over here, we also still don't know whether a dumbbell 3-bedroom layout is really accepted in the resale market also. Yeah, we know that 2-bedroom is acceptable.
But actually, when I sell the 4-room flats that have those like dumbbell layouts, right, actually quite popular because there's no wasted space in the walkway. I feel that a lot of people, they can accept the point that one room is tucked at the other corner. So maybe also still
can consider lah. You can consider lah, but then you have to sacrifice the windows now.
If you have budget, then I think let's go for the 818.
Yeah, because the price will be definitely very palatable. Because if let's say you really want a 3-bedder, buy something that is very affordable, I think in today's market it will be one of your options.
And for this layout, right, we actually have our top choice, which is the 904 square feet. Due to the walkway is actually smaller. If you actually like longer foyer, right, then you can consider the other layouts. Because based on the 904 square feet, our foyer looks a little bit smaller, and then we have everything intact, like what we say, the windows, and then we also have a flexi room. Anyway, the flexi room quite huge. It looks really like you can put another single bed in there.
You can see from this layout, it's almost the same size as the bedroom 2 and the bedroom 3, except for the wardrobe part. You should be able to fit a single bed inside. But of course, if you want to use as storage, you also can use it as a storage.
And I think it's quite unique that we actually have a dry kitchen outside the kitchen area. So they actually did the kitchen a little bit smaller, and then you have a wet and dry area.
Yeah. So I think this layout is quite good because you have your dry kitchen, and on top of that, you still have a very good amount of space for your dining area.
Right.
And just now, as we mentioned, the width of the living room is actually 3.1. We feel that the layout is actually quite good for this project. But the thing is, if you have to choose one out of these 4, the 904 will be our choice.
Yes.
Because it's essentially the same thing, just that the other layouts have a longer foyer.
Yeah, so you pay extra for the foyer.
Yeah, if you like the foyer, you have a lot of shoes, you want to do all your shoe cabinet over there, then you can get the 958 one. Because over here, you can have a lot of cabinets over here. Then all your shoes you can keep there. But other than that, I think the most efficient out of these 4 will be the 904. And then for facing wise, they have different facing. You have inward facing, mostly will be inward facing. And again, have to see the price. But 904 will be our top choice based on these 4.
The last 2 layout of our 3-bedder, our top choice will be at the left-hand side, which is the 1023 square feet. Yeah, because it's the same thing, we have a longer walkway in the 1076 square feet unit.
And this layout actually has more storage spaces. Your flexi room's still there, but you get one more household shelter. And I think that the unique thing about this is that the WC that is usually in the yard area, right, is actually right at the doorstep.
So maybe your guests can walk into the toilet first, then they go in.
If you are someone with OCD and then you want your guests to wash their feet before they go into your house, right, then this one they don't need to go in the kitchen. Go into the house, you can put a sign there, please wash your feet. You have your third WC over here. And again, the living space is quite long and the width is quite good. Just that one thing, there is no yard. So if you want to really hang your clothes, you still have to do it at your balcony, because I don't think you want to install the hanging rack above your kitchen, because when you cook also, the thing about this layout I don't like is don't have the yard area, which this size they should have built a yard.
But after we go through all the three builders, I think they build it very well for those that are upgrading, especially those that are coming from the HDBs.
Yes, because it's like around the same size as the HDB also.
So definitely I think they also can accept these kind of sizes. When you are thinking to exit your property, you actually can target those that are HDB upgraders also.
Yep. Then we have actually chose our top three. Now we will choose the final winner for the 3-bedroom. So which one is your final
I
winner?
still think the 904 is the best choice. I think also have to see the price difference because although 1023 is bigger, right? And we have an extra bathroom, and we also need to see what's the difference for the bathroom, right?
Yeah, so again, you can use what I shared earlier in the video. You can see what is the PSF difference. If it's lower than the average PSF of the unit type that you're looking at, then the top-up could be worth it. If it's a lot higher than the average PSF of that unit, right, then maybe you have to consider whether you want to pay for it or not. Because 904 and 1023 is quite similar. For 904, it has everything you need in a 3-bedroom. For this 1023, right, there's no yard area also. The 904, you have your wet kitchen, your dry kitchen, same thing, no yard area. What you are paying for is really just for one more WC and then also one more household shelter. I think that the key thing would be whether the price is worth it to pay or not. But layout-wise, our top choice would be the 904.
Okay, so here is our 4-bedroom layouts. We actually have 2 layouts of 4 bedrooms. Our top choice will be our D1 because step 15 is actually a highway facing. Yeah, so we actually prefer the D1 unit. Actually, for the D1 unit, also quite special because basically the bedroom 4, right, we actually can hack down the wall and do it as a living hall area. So you actually have a landscape layout.
Yeah. If you knock down the 4th bedroom, then you have a super huge living room already. It's like an L-shaped living room over here. But the thing is that if you knock down, there will be a beam over here. So this beam will still be there. You cannot remove it. But if you knock down, then you have super big living room. If you don't need 4 rooms, you can consider also. So what you can do, because there's a beam over here, you can actually do a divider over here. Then you install zip track over here, right? I mean, you will install zip track for the whole thing, but your zip track, you can keep it closed most of the time. Then this balcony is actually quite big. You can actually convert this space into a study area for this bedroom 4 over here. I think this is an idea for you. You have flexibility for this layout. But if we have to choose, would be D1 because this stack 15 is actually facing the highway. If you are buying the 4-bedroom, your future buyers will mostly be buying for own stay. And I think that for 4 bedrooms, you are already paying so much, right? Then get something that is inward facing would be better. Not saying that the highway facing you cannot sell or you cannot profit, but if you're already paying so much, go for something that is the best unless of course you have no more choice. This is your ballot number is not good, you only left with this choice. Then again, you see whether the price is worth it to pay or not, the difference in the facing. But beyond the highway, I think there is also a bit of the unblocked view as well. It really depends on how the developer will price the unit, because like for example, for Alta, the project in Clementi, for those units facing the highway, even though it's facing highway, but after the highway is actually unblocked view. So the prices were actually quite similar, or some of the units are actually more expensive than the inward facing units. So we really do not know how the developers are going to price, but I think on the day of the booking, what you can do is do your research, do your homework, and if you do not know how to choose the correct unit, you can ask your agents. Of course, if you don't have an agent, you can also ask us. We can choose the unit for you based on your requirements and also based on what is best at that price at that point also.
So lastly, we have our 5 bedrooms here. We have 2 units of our 5 bedrooms, which is at 1453 square feet and 1475 square feet. So our top choice will be E1 because of the window. We actually have extra windows at the walkway. So I think that this will make the unit even more brighter.
Yeah. The cross ventilation is very rare in Singapore. So you can open up this window, you open up your balcony screen, you have a lot of cross ventilation, which really very rare to find in today's market, or even for older projects, we seldom see, because for this layout over here, you don't have windows over here. So it's actually most the same except for the window. But of course, over here you get your storage. But in terms of the layout wise, very good because the living room very big, the width very good distance, and of course, again, if you don't need the 5th bedroom, you can knock down. Then this area is very big for you already. I personally quite like this layout, and master bedroom is big also, junior master. Then you got your storage. This one got yard. This one you can hang your clothes. This one don't need to hang at the balcony. So first choice will be E1. So you can choose either you want face forest or you want face pool. Okay, next. We come back to our 1 and 2 bedder. For this project, right, the 1 bedder is actually part of the conservation building, and there's only 8 units of this 1 bedroom. The size is very nice number, 388, but there's only 8 units, so you need to snatch. And the quantum wise is also very attractive, 878K. If you really want to invest, you want to start your property portfolio, you want to start your investment journey, then I think you can consider this. You have your decent bedroom and then your kitchen and your walkway over here. No balcony though.
Anyway, do you know where are all the aircon ledge?
I don't know, where is it?
Actually, the aircon ledge, right, is all at the basement. So you know when they have a car park at the basement area, they actually do all the aircon ledge there all the way to level 4. So imagine you buy the level 4, you have to do the trucking all the way down to the basement one. That will cost you a lot, right? I mean, quite smart lah, because they have to conserve the beauty of the place, right? So they actually done the aircon ledge below, like at the basement, you know. Yeah, but I think maintenance-wise, it will be a bit more costly. But anyway, we don't have a balcony here, so I think 3 square feet is still quite decent, which is going to be 400 over in our non-harmonization.
So if you want to consider 1 bedroom, can consider cheap. Okay? So 2 bedroom, this 592 square feet, 2 bed, 2 bath. Quite good.
Very squarish.
Very squarish. No balcony again.
Yeah.
Over here, your kitchen cannot enclose, but you have a tuck-in kitchen. Then,
actually, do you like the balcony? Or do you think that no balcony is better?
I only like balcony if my house is high floor. If
Okay.
it's low floor, I feel that I don't need the balcony.
But how are you going to hang your clothes? If you see, we do not even have a yard area, right? Then how you hang your clothes?
That's why I got the 2-in-1 what.
Okay.
Nowadays, even 3 bedroom, they give the 2-in-1 also. Yeah, but the dryer is not good.
I mean, like if you don't use the 2-in-1, right, then definitely you have to hang somewhere. Then you'll be hanging at the living hall area. So I think you love it, you will love it lah. You hate it, you will hate it lah.
Yeah, that is for you to choose your own preference. But anyway, only limited units. There's only 8 units also. So
we also have our 3-bedder. Sorry, the typo there. This is just 3-bedder. So basically we have 2 layouts here. One of them have really long balcony area. So I think if you like balcony, you can consider that. But it's really long. It's all the way to your master and the bedroom 3. And then for the 1119 square feet, I think the size is quite decent because this is landscape layout for the living hall area. For the other taller buildings that we have, we do not have any landscape, right?
Yeah, don't have landscape.
So basically, I think whatever they should have already have it in the unit itself.
I think very good this one. You got the jogging track, you don't need to go down.
Right.
Here you can run shuttle run what?
Okay.
You can run shuttle run here.
If you got kids, even better, right? They can use their scooter and scoot around.
Yeah, but you must be careful that got 3 beams over here. So even your house, you see this one without the balcony, there's these 3 beams. I don't know how you're going to work around it. You need to find your ID, maybe you need to build shelvings over it because this is to keep the structure for the conservation.
Not sure if they allow us to do the zip check or not.
This one, I have to check with MCSD. I don't know. I think maybe not. So we don't know about that, but it's a good question. Other than that, I think landscape quite good. Living room very big.
Yeah, as in these 2 layouts are really good because the odd shape also don't goes into the room itself. It's just at the corner of the building's facade.
The rooms are also quite big also. Yeah. But then again, if you are considering these units at the lower block, right, at this conservation block, there's one thing that you need to be very clear about, which is when you buy these conservation units, right, I have an example over here for Avenue South Residence. Personally, I sold this project before, so I know how the units at the conservation blocks actually perform. So if you look at this, for this 2-bedroom, the 807 are the units at the conservation, so they are slightly bigger. And then 732 would be the typical 2-bedroom units. If you look at this, what you can see is that for the normal units, they actually profit more, even though the size is smaller. So The key thing for you to consider when you want to buy a unit at the conservation block is that you need to enter at a very safe PSF. So if, let's say, you are buying at 1,007, 1,008, but the other units, the normal units are buying at 2,000, so there's a good price gap of about $150 to $200 PSF, then you can consider. But if, let's say, you buy the units at the conservation block, but your PSF gap is only maybe about $50 or $100, then I think that it is quite dangerous. So you need to make sure that if you are buying units at the conservation block, then you need to be very wary of the price that you are buying in if you want to have good profits. Definitely buyers, if they can, they will choose the higher block one, the newer block one. Yeah, unless there are some buyers out there that really like the layout. Yeah. With that, I think we have come to an end of our project analysis today. It's just a very simple one, just to go through with you on the different layouts and what we feel that you need to take note of. And if you have any questions, please feel free to contact us. If you don't know how to choose a unit or you want to go and see the show flat, you can also call us. At the point of the release of this video, I don't know whether it's still the preview, but if you are watching our video, you like our content and you need our help, please contact us and also help us share our video, subscribe to our channel. Yeah.
Please like and share.
Yeah, support us. So I think that's all for today.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
See you guys.
See you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.